Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive paradigm shift that is fundamentally changing how people interact with sports markets. For decades, sports gambling has just been completely dominated by emotion. Fans bet with their hearts, they listen to media hype, and they just trust their gut. But we are looking at a dramatic shift today. We're moving away from that outdated emotional model and stepping right into the world of mechanical, AI-driven quantitative trading. Specifically, we are going to break down this fascinating system called the first half goal protocol. We're going to see exactly how cutting-edge AI, in this case Gemini 1.5 Pro, is completely replacing the guesswork of retail betting with ruthless automated precision. So here is our blueprint for today. We're going to cover betting versus quant trading, feeding the AI engine, the prestige blindness logic, strict rules and strike rates, and finally, we'll wrap up with the 90-second execution sweep. All right, part 1, betting versus quantitative trading. Before we get into the AI itself, we really need to understand the playing field here. The core focus of this system is incredibly specific. It targets the first half over 0.5 market. That means we are looking for exactly one thing: a single goal scored in the first 45 minutes of a soccer match. Now, think about the sheer contrast in how people actually approach this. On one hand, you have retail betting. This is how 99% of people operate, right? They use gut feeling, they get entirely swept up in human emotion, and they buy into whatever narrative the media is spinning about a team's momentum. Mathematically, it almost always leads to failure over the long haul. But then you have quantitative trading. This is where the first half goal protocol lives. It is completely mechanical, it's AI-driven, and it relies on huge multi-league datasets rather than just some guy's opinion. The goal here isn't gambling in the traditional sense at all. It's high-frequency value identification. It's literally using the massive computational power of Gemini 1.5 Pro to find statistical anomalies that human bookmakers just flat out miss. Moving on to part 2, feeding the AI engine. If you want to trade mechanically, you need data, lots of it. But imagine trying to analyze global soccer fixtures manually. It takes hours, and you are severely limited by your own human bandwidth. So, to completely bypass that human bottleneck, this protocol feeds a massive data stack directly into the AI. We're talking about raw CSV datasets containing rolling 10-match averages for first half expected goals, or XG. We're looking at the historical times of first goal for both the home and away teams. We've got cross-sectional defensive pressure ratings, which basically means measuring high-intensity attacking metrics against low-block defensive failures. And finally, early game shot-on-target frequency. By feeding these raw data sets directly into Gemini, the AI instantly processes millions of tokens. It literally holds the complete structural reality of the entire weekend's global fixtures in its active memory before a single referee even blows a whistle. It's wild. Let's move into part 3, the prestige blindness logic. This next concept is absolutely the psychological core of the system because it addresses the single biggest trap in sports trading: human bias. Prestige blindness is the strict, explicit rule programmed right into the Gemini prompt. It commands the AI to completely strip away team names, club badges, and any historic club status. Instead, the AI evaluates every single fixture purely as a numerical code. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, because humans are incredibly biased. We see a famous team, say Manchester United or Real Madrid, and we automatically just assume they're going to score. The AI is instructed to ignore public popularity entirely. It instantly purges any match from the system if that match relies on some grand historical narrative rather than hard statistical volatility. No badges, no history, just data. And this brings us to a really powerful quote: "We trade the numbers, not the teams." This is the absolute governing philosophy of the entire protocol. If you want to operate like a true quantitative trader, you have to completely divorce yourself from the romance of the sport. You're trading mathematical probabilities, nothing else. Which brings us to part 4, strict rules and strike rates. Okay, so the AI has ingested all this data, and it is completely blind to prestige. Now it evaluates the matches using a set of unbending rules with 0 exceptions. The crucial starting point here is 80%. This is the golden rule of the protocol. For a match to even be flagged as a potential trade, the combined historical first half goal strike rate for both teams must hit a minimum of 80% over their last 10 respective fixtures. If it's 79%, boom, the AI throws it out. It is a completely mechanical, entirely emotionless threshold. Once that 80% strike rate is actually met, the AI then looks for the XG threshold intersection. It directly cross-references the attacking team's early game shot volume right against the defending team's early game concession rate. The data has to mathematically reveal a highly probable collision course for an early breakthrough. If the attacking pressure doesn't flawlessly align with the defensive weakness, the trade is simply rejected. But wait, there is one final safety net here: liquidity validation. The AI is the ultimate filter, right? It's doing all the heavy computational lifting. However, human execution still requires this final manual check. Before placing the actual trade on the exchange, you, the user, must ensure there is sufficient matched volume or liquidity in that specific over-under market. You absolutely have to know that if the market suddenly shifts, you have the volume required to execute an instant exit. Essentially, the AI finds the door, but the human confirms it's unlocked. And finally, Part 5, the 90-second execution sweep. This is where it all comes together, the thrilling climax of the protocol, often called the Saturday morning workflow. Let's just march right through the sequence. Step 1, dataset upload. The user takes those raw CSV datasets, which by the way can cover up to 40 different global soccer divisions, and just drops them into the Gemini interface. Step 2, prompt activation. The user triggers the master prompt, commanding the AI to apply that prestige blindness logic and the strict 80% strike rate rules we just talked about. Step 3, the sweep. This is where the magic happens. The AI instantly cross-references that massive dataset, ruthlessly filtering out low-probability matches and low-volume markets. And finally, step 4, the output. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer mind-bending power of the system. Within 90 seconds, just a minute and a half to process up to 40 global divisions. The AI outputs a beautifully clean, formatted matrix of highly validated fixtures mathematically primed for a first-half over 0.5 goal trade. Just think about what this means for a second. The protocol scales analysis globally in a way that is literally impossible for a human brain. It allows a single solo user sitting in their living room at their laptop to operate with the terrifying, ruthless efficiency of a Wall Street proprietary trading desk. Which brings us to our final thought for today. If AI can instantly ingest multi-league data, strip away all of our human biases, and completely outtrade human intuition in just 90 seconds, is the era of emotional sports betting officially over? Are we witnessing the absolute death of retail betting and the unstoppable rise of personal quant trading desks? It's a fascinating paradigm shift, and honestly, the numbers certainly suggest that the future belongs to the machines. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the data, and I'll catch you next time.